What's up, y'all? This is BoxingWave. Today I'm going to hit you with a wave of videos, okay? There's a whole bunch of stuff I want to talk about. Last night was the Ortiz versus Coyote card. Great card because it was 6 fights that were televised. They usually don't show that many fights on television, okay? So shout out to Golden Boy for putting together a good card. The majority of the fighters were Al Heyman fighters, okay? So let's break it down. What I'm going to do is normally I would just make a long video discussing the whole card, but I'm going to separate all the videos and just make a bunch of short videos, okay? So I'm going to start it off with Josesito Lopez, okay? He beat this guy Cobos, right, which was just a tune-up fight for him. Really wasn't impressed by Lopez because I know that there are rumors of him fighting Amir next, all right? I guess Amir wants to tune up for his next big fight, whether it's Floyd Mayweather, whether it's Kell Brook. Lopez in the fight, you know, I mean, he won the fight, but he really didn't look impressive to me, okay? He seemed to be really bothered by Cobos' body shots, okay? He held a lot in that fight. Even from the opening bell, he was already holding Cobos, okay? Cobos took his power pretty well in the fight. He was a lot shorter, but he didn't really seem to get bothered by Lopez's shots. Even when Lopez did land some good shots in that fight and everything, but it just wasn't consistent for me. And he kept moving backward the whole fight, you know. Cobos was being aggressive at a lot of points in that fight. And he was just, you know, I mean, his style was pretty basic. I mean, he was just walking forward and he's just being aggressive, just throwing power shots. And Josesito Lopez was just moving backwards. He wasn't using any lateral movement at all. And it was just a lot of, you know, for it to be a tune-up fight, he exposed a lot of his weaknesses in this fight. If he does fight Amir like this is a guy that seemed to be bothered by the power shots from a journeyman. You know, when he fights a guy like Amir a guy that is a lot more precise, probably hits harder, a lot more faster, and attacks the body well. We already seen Khan drop Maidana from a body shot in their fight. I just don't see why these two should be fighting right now. I think Lopez, a good fight for Josesito Lopez right now would be Andre Berto or a Louis Collazo, or someone like that, you know. I just don't see Lopez standing any chance against Amir There's no disrespect to him because, you know, he's a decent fighter. And, you know, he beat Victor Ortiz. You know, that was a great fight, all right? One of my favorite fights that year. But he just doesn't stand a chance. I think Amir is a world-class fighter, and he has one of the fastest hands in boxing. And I just don't see him standing a chance. So, really wasn't impressed by his performance. But, you know, if he gets the fight, and the thing with you know, I don't know how he ever expects to get big fights by taking fights like this. You know, last year he backed out of the Devin Alexander fight, okay, which was a title shot. You know, he backed out of that fight to get a fight with Floyd, and that fight never happened. And now he beats Louis Collazo, which was a very respectable win because Collazo was coming off of that big win against Victor Ortiz. And he goes from Louis Collazo down to Josesito Lopez. I think that's a step down to me, in my opinion, okay? So, you know, I really don't know what Khan is doing at this point, but, you know, it just seems like he wants the easier fight and to get a big matchup. And he's a really good fighter. I think he should be fighting some of the top guys at 147. You know, even if it's a tune-up, you know, just, you got to beat certain fighters. If you fight Keith Thurman and be the first to beat him, that would warrant, you know, a guarantee. Well, not guarantee a shot at Floyd, but it would be a pretty debatable reason for him to fight a Floyd or a Manny Pacquiao, you know, coming off big wins like that. When you're not coming off of big wins and you're fighting Lopez, how are you going to get a Manny Pacquiao fight or a Floyd Mayweather fight, you know, or a championship fight, period? So anyway, that's my thoughts on that fight, you know. Lopez won the fight. You know, I think it was an 8-round bout, and you know, he looked decent in the fight, but not really impressive against a journeyman. Okay, So anyway, let me know what you guys think on the fight, and make sure you hit subscribe.